No idea why, guys. Stefan. All right. Hello, YouTube. We're having some Discord visual and audio issues. Actually, YouTube, let me know if the video and audio is being okay for YouTube at least. Discord's fine for you. Okay, Stefan, it must be happening to you. Unfortunately, you know, Discord, it's so person specific. Anyway, hello, YouTube. Let me get TikTok going and then we are good. Boom. All right. There we go. All right, TikTok. Good. Boom. Okay, YouTube looks good too. That's good. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening, all. Oh, microphone on. All right. We're going to get our microphone set up for TikTok. I'm surprised nobody bitched about that yet. You guys are usually good about being ahead. Oh, hang on. Wrong one. About being ahead of me with the TikTok audio. There we go. Who's that? Elizabeth? Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, TikTok audio is plugged in. You've now got the good audio. All right. Anyway, hello all. Let me get my second screen set up. There we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here. Hi, all. How are we doing? Yep. I've got the good audio plugged in now for TikTok, although Discord and YouTube, you guys are already good. Oh, hello, all. How are we doing this evening? It is Monday. No, it's not. It's Thursday, March 13th. Oh, it's Thursday. Oh, good. Then I will remind you this weekend, we've got our show for the paid subscribers, the monthly subscribers, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time US. I do a special show every Saturday, just as kind of a hangout for the paid monthly subscribers as a thank you. So if you're one of them, join us. Thank you, MBW, for the gifts. Thank you, Richard, as well. So more news today, of course. Actually, today's news, there's some Ukraine news, not a ton. It's important, but it's not a ton. A lot of today's news is actually Trump news, Trump and Elon news. Excuse me, we will talk about it. As folks know, the way the show works is I go through the latest news of the day, focused on America and Washington, D.C., where I am, of course. And then we go through the latest Ukraine war news, because that's one of our other big focuses that we do. Foci, maybe. Thank you, Running, for the gift. Please keep the gifts coming. You guys know about that, to help support my work. So I appreciate that. And TikTokers, always remember to follow me as well, because I always forget to tell you guys to follow. It would be good if you did. All right, let's get rolling here. So there's a lot of Trump news today, actually. A federal judge has ruled that tens of thousands of federal workers that Trump fired have to be given their jobs back. The only thing is, it still is going to be appealed. It was a preliminary injunction the judge gave, which basically means the judge found that it is likely that they will prevail in the case. So the judge reinstated the employees, but you know, the Trump people are going to appeal. And when they appeal, who knows if they're going to win. But at least it's a first step, which is good. Thank you, Mustard, for the various gifts. I did see them there. Bjorn, Marie, and others. Thank you, guys. But in any case, it's good news. It's good news, but, you know, it's not the final decision, and they will appeal and whatever. Democrats. So Democrats are kind of caving to Republicans today. I don't want to say I'm divided on this, but it's kind of tough. So the current spending bills run out tomorrow night. So the government runs out of money tomorrow. Thank you, Ashley. The flame. We're doing the dragon face over on TikTok, and you open your mouth and flames come out of your mouth. It's very cool. But the current funding runs out in Washington tomorrow night, Friday night. Republicans are trying to pass a continuing bill that will cut funding for lots of agencies and everything else. Democrats are in a weird position, and it looks like they're caving. I'm not entirely in the middle. I'm a little in the middle on this. I'm also a little leaning towards thinking Democrats are not being as strong as they should be. But I keep noticing more and more things on my table being scratched. Don't be scratched, little table. Democrats not being as strong as they should be. But basically, it's very complicated, but Republicans need Democratic votes in order to pass the spending bill. If it doesn't pass, the government shuts down tomorrow night. The concern Democrats have is if they don't vote for it, will they be blamed for the government shutdown? No. Republicans, the thing is, if Democrats vote for it, they're voting. This is like the only leverage Democrats have, right? Because Republicans control the House and the Senate. So it's the only leverage Democrats have. And a lot of people say, you know, they ought to vote against it and tell the Republicans, you want our votes on a spending bill, then you should get our input on the spending. And Democrats, it looks like Democrats are caving now. And basically they're going to support the legislation, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, they suck at messaging. I mean, this is the messaging problem I tell you guys about usually in general. People on the right are very good at messaging. People on the left are very bad at messaging, in America at least. And Democrats just, Republicans are in charge. Generally speaking, the polls show if the government gets shut down, the public will blame the party in charge. Republicans control the White House. Republicans control the Senate. Republicans control the House. So it's kind of hard to blame Democrats when Republicans control the whole government, but Democrats are afraid, and it looks like they're going to vote for it, which is really too bad because, in the end, it's true. If you want Democratic votes, then accept Democratic input, and that should be the argument. They're asking for our votes, and they're trying to jam through a spending bill that we haven't even gotten a look at, and we, meaning Democrats, this would be the Democratic argument, that they haven't even gotten a look at, and they're also going to be probably cutting programs left and right. Programs people need. Anyway, so that's what's up with that. Elon today, Elon had another, even by Elon Musk standards, this was pretty crazy what Elon Musk did today. So Elon today retweeted a woman on Twitter. Now, retweeting is basically when you take somebody else's post on Twitter and you share it. Typically you share it. Well, let me put it this way. Elon shared it without a comment. Typically, when you share posts without a comment, it means you agree with them. If you didn't agree, you might retweet it and you might say, like, I did one today and I wrote, like HMM, like, meaning I don't know about this, right? Typically, if you agree with something, you just retweet it. I am hard pressed to find an example of something that I didn't agree with that I shared. Because the problem is, if you share it and you don't add any context, people will think it's true, right? In any case, so Elon shared something today, did not add any context, which means he agreed with this. This is one of those things where I'm not going to be able to read this to you because TikTok will probably get upset, but I will show you what he wrote because it was a tweet. It was a tweet on Twitter. Again, this was a tweet that Elon Musk shared today. Actually, I'm almost worried about sharing with you guys. This was Elon's tweet. This right here. I will just show you briefly. Okay. You can read it really quick. He's talking about Mao, Stalin, and the other bad guy from Germany. This is it. It's about Mao, Stalin, and the other bad guy from Germany. And Elon is talking about how, it's insane. It's absolutely insane what he wrote. I will read this without reading the details. The tweet that Elon shared approvingly, apparently, said Stalin, Mao, and that German leader from World War II, the guy whose name starts with an H, who we don't say because we don't want to upset the censors. Stalin, Mao, and the H-man didn't murder millions of people, the tweet claims falsely. Their public sector workers did, the tweet claims falsely. The tweet is literally claiming that Stalin, Mao, and the leader of Germany in World War II are not responsible for killing anybody. I added up the numbers on this. It's insane. This is an insanely horrific thing to allege. Horrifically insane. And for Elon to share it seemingly approvingly is sick. I want to see if I've got the data here. I did a quick little search here today. Where is this? I may have it. I'm hoping I've got it here. I had it in my notes. I basically went and did a little research to find out just how many people Stalin, Mao, and the German guy killed. The conservative estimate is, I'm trying to remember here. Shoot. See, I'm already forgetting it now. Where is this? Damn it. Wait, I'm going to pull this up. I think I've got it. I think the conservative estimate was 40 million. Hold on. I want to pull this up now. One sec. I better have it here. 1 second. Let me see if I've got it here. I think I do. Yes. So the conservative estimate is that Mao killed 20 million, Stalin killed 6 million. This is the conservative estimate. And that German guy killed 15. That would be 41 million people is the conservative estimate that Elon Musk just exonerated. The higher end estimate is that Mao in China killed 70 million people. Stalin killed 20 million, and that German leader killed 50 million. So conservatively, it would be 41 million that they all killed. On the extreme, not the extreme, the high percentage, the high number, higher estimate would be 140 million that they killed. Guys, I mean, I could go through more of the details, the Cultural Revolution, all sorts of things that these guys did. For Elon Musk, oh, actually, well, I see the trolls bringing up Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam was nothing like that. Absolutely, literally nothing like that. And by the way, here's the funny thing, troll person who's leaving us right now. It's interesting that you are also trying to defend Stalin, Mao, and the German leader. Your very comment is trying to make an equivalence to make light of the fact that these guys killed millions of people. Case in point, thank you for proving my point. I just can't with this stuff. I really can't. Elon Musk is a US government official. He's the second or maybe even first most important government official, right? I mean, he's co-president with Trump, basically. And he retweeted something today that would be illegal in Germany. I mean, I know this anyway, but I asked around and people said, yeah, that tweet would be illegal in Germany, right? To literally suggest that Mao, Stalin, and the German leader are not responsible for killing anybody. Now, that's sick. I mean, that's like the most sick thing out there, to allege something like that. What is also really disturbing about it is Elon appears to be exonerating Stalin, Mao, and the German leader in an effort to attack US federal employees. This is the really screwed up part. Thank you, Pedro. He's alleging that those three guys didn't kill anybody. It was actually their federal workers who did. And he's alleging it seemingly to be an attack on federal workers, saying the real genocidal maniacs in the world are people who work for governments. Obviously, he's talking about our government. He's talking about our federal workers. That's why he's sharing this. That's why that person is sharing it, I will bet. You're comparing federal, and this comes to the whole point too, because Elon likes to claim falsely that he's cutting waste and abuse. No, he's not. He just compared good federal workers to genocidal maniacs and blamed them for murder, basically. He's not going after them because he thinks they're wasting money. He thinks they're evil. He thinks government is evil. He thinks our government is evil, actually, which is even scarier. I'm kind of blown away on this. I mean, I really am kind of blown away on this. It's really, I mean, it's so offensive. It's just so offensive. It boggles my mind, and how people can accept this, and how his supporters can accept it, how Republicans can accept this, and not just sit there and go, you do not make excuses for Stalin, Mao, and the German leader in World War II killing people. You do not make excuses for them. You do not. Never make excuses for those horrible people. Ever. It's just, it's sick. So Trump today threatened Europe with even more tariffs. The economy, we're very worried. The stock market went down again today significantly. We'll talk about that in a second. Trump threatened 200% tariffs on alcohol from Europe because he's mad at the Europeans. Trump basically put tariffs on the Europeans. So the Europeans responded and said, okay, we'll put tariffs on you. And he got pissed off and said, I'm hitting you with 200% tariffs. This is literally the definition of a trade war. This is the definition. You hit them with 200% tariffs, which means you basically shut down all trade. They will hit you with 200% tariffs, and your trade, American goods, will be shut down. American businesses will be shut down from selling abroad. This is how you create a depression. This is literally what happened. You can Google it during the Great Depression, when everyone started putting the stuff on top of each other. It was insane. United Kempo, I'm not going to postulate on that, first of all, because I don't feel like getting sued. But there are lots of rumors about Elon's problems. Let's put it that way. I am not an expert on Elon Musk's problems, but there were lots of discussions of that online, but I don't actually know enough about it that I wouldn't want to hazard a guess about it. I try to be careful about talking about things that I have some knowledge of, basically, and I have no knowledge of that, but I'm familiar with it. Yes. A little more now. What else we got here? Yes. So the stock market today stumbled again because of Trump's, and I guarantee you it was because of Trump's tariffs talk again. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1.3% today. The NASDAQ, which is the tech companies, the Amazons, the Facebook, everybody else, right? The NASDAQ dropped 2% today. Guys, the market is now down 10%. Oh, I may even have the image here. The market is down 10% from its high about a month and a half ago. Again, a month ago. This is after Trump became president. Here's the chart. I've got the chart. So this chart shows you election day to now. This is the stock market, the U.S. stock market. The election day is the beginning. Now is the end. Just so you can see, this is the end of February. The part right here where the market starts to collapse 10%, that's the end of February. That's not Joe Biden, right? That's not Joe Biden. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump collapsed the stock market 10%, and it continues to go. My retirement's down. Your retirement's down. This is insane. It's absolutely insane, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. In any case, Elon now has announced that he's going after 2 more agencies where he's trying to gut them and fire like 20% of the staff. One of the agencies is the Internal Revenue Service. They announced today they're going to fire like 20% of the employees. They're going to do it right after. Literally, they're going to do this, they said, around May 1st or so. Our taxes have to go in April 15th in America. All our taxes get paid. Basically, our annual filing of our taxes is April 15th. For whatever reason, that's the date. Elon, 2 weeks after the tax authority receives tax returns for like 100 million people, Elon's going to fire 20% of their staff. And this is another thing Democrats refuse to talk about. Why do you want to fire people at our tax authority, right? It's called the Internal Revenue Service here in America. Thank you, Laddie. Why do you want to fire them? The only reason you would want to fire people at our tax authority, and gut it, by the way, firing 20% of the people is a lot. The only reason you'd want to fire 20% of the people is because you want to cheat on your taxes. There's no reason otherwise. And Republicans have made this a huge issue that they were going to fire everybody, and they are. They actually got rid of a bunch of employees. Even when Biden was president, the Republicans killed a bunch of money for the tax authority. They're complaining. They're complaining that this is where, again, you get the lie, right? Trump and Elon keep complaining about the deficits. They don't talk about the fact that Donald Trump created like a third of our national debt came from Donald Trump. 2 times the amount of debt from Trump than from Biden. And his people love to go, COVID wasn't COVID. You can Google the charts and you'll see, even taking COVID out, Trump was like here, Biden was like here in terms of national debt. Trump added a lot more than Biden. But if Republicans are so concerned about the national debt, why are they firing 20% of the people who go and collect the money? Right? You don't do that if you care about the national debt. You would actually say, we care about the national debt. By the way, waste, fraud, and abuse. We care about fraud, so we're going to hire more people to make sure people pay their taxes. They're doing this for rich people like Elon. They're doing it for the big businessmen. They're rich donors. This is what we know. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. It's absolutely sick. This one's possibly even sicker. Elon today went to the NSA, the National Security Agency. The National Security Agency is a spy agency of the U.S., right? Adila, they're not showing any corruption. Oh, good point. Actually, quick, remind me, folks, to get back to the NSA. We had a troll that just weighed in and said, after all the corruption they're showing. Actually, there's no corruption at all that they've been showing. Elon lied. I've got a story coming up. I'm going to tell you guys about all the lies Elon Musk put on his website, claiming all the money they saved. It was all a lie. They took it all down. All the stuff they said about AID, lie. Our development agency, they lied. They claimed that AID was giving development money to help develop newspapers in America. They lied. They were literally newspaper subscriptions. They were subscribing to the newspaper. And the Republicans, Elon Musk, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. And Elon Musk came out and said, did you know that development money was given to a newspaper because it needed development? No, it's called a newspaper subscription. But the Republicans believed him. Elon lied. There is like, oh, the Social Security. The Social Security is my favorite. My favorite. Elon totally got caught lying about this too. Elon claimed, did you know there are thousands of people 150 years old who are getting Social Security payments? And everyone's like, nah, I don't think so. Well, they looked into it. Elon lied. Well, okay. Here's the problem with Elon. You never quite know if he's lying or if he's just not very smart. This was a story that came out 10 years ago. It was not new. 10 years ago, we knew this. There's a glitch with the computer system and it marks some people as being 150 or whatever it was. Nobody's getting money. And they looked into it. And Google it, by the way, you will see the fact check. None of these fictitious people or their family members are getting money. It's a computer glitch that says they're 150 and all this kind of stuff. Elon, we found thousands of people 150 years old who are getting money and we will stop it. He lied. Again, I shouldn't say he lied because he may just be not very bright. And therefore, he says things that are wrong all the freaking time. But that's why I bring this up when the trolls go, all the fraud. You kind of need to do what I feel like Parker here. Bring them up and say, okay, walk me through all the fraud. I'd love to hear the examples. Tell me, please. And they would sit there and they'd go, blah, 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 blah. They wouldn't have any clue what to say, right? Because there's no fraud. Yeah, they haven't found any fraud. They haven't found any fraud. They found, nothing they've alleged. But I'll get to that in a minute because you're going to die when you hear about all the claims Elon and his DOGE people made that they had to remove off their own website because they were wrong. Thank you for the boxing gloves there. So anyway, now Elon wants to cut the NSA. If this isn't doing Vladimir Putin a favor, I don't know what is. The National Security Agency. Yeah, the trans mice was fake too. Gertie's bringing up another. This is what I mean. Gertie brought up the other fake story, investigating transgender mice. No, they weren't. They weren't. They literally weren't. Google the story. They weren't investigating transgender mice. No, they weren't. They literally weren't. Google it. Google it. This is the problem is there is a noise machine where people just report lies. And the noise machine comes up with these lies. Remember, actually, one of my other favorites, Trump claimed about AID. AID has a horrific program in Egypt where they're spending it on tourism promotion. A couple of problems here. One, it was Donald Trump's own program. I mean, I love this. A horribly corrupt program. It was Donald Trump's own program. They found the press release from the Trump administration announcing the creation of the program. So it was Trump's program, A. So if it's super corrupt, ask Trump why he did it. B, they tried to make it a scandal claiming, did you know that our development agency was helping the Egyptians create tourism? I would certainly hope we were, considering tourism is the number one moneymaker in Egypt. And if you're trying to help Egypt develop, you need to help them develop in the area where there's the most potential. And the most potential in Egypt is tourism. So yes, I absolutely hope and pray that development agencies in Egypt are helping them figure out how to make more money off of tourism. That's literally their job. But they literally presented it as A, crazy idea, except it was Trump's crazy idea, and B, tourism is obviously a scandal. No, it's not. If you did any research, you would know that it's the number one economic industry in Egypt, and therefore it would be the first place you would go to build up if you were trying to build up the Egyptian economy as folks helping from the outside. It's all lies. It's all lies. They don't care. So Elon now Elon wants to gut the NSA. This one particularly kind of freaks. I mean, it all freaks me out. The National Security Agency. It's one of our premier spy agencies. The NSA is responsible for eavesdropping, electronic eavesdropping, satellites, listening in, things like that. That's the NSA, the National Security Agency. Hugely important. Why in God's name would you want to gut this agency unless your name was Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping? Why would you want to gut these agencies? Same reason they want to gut the FBI. Criminals want to gut the FBI. So does Trump and Elon. Same reason you would want to gut the IRS. The only people that want to gut our tax agency are people who don't want to pay their taxes, criminals. Elon and Trump want to gut it. The only people who want to gut the CIA and the NSA are America's enemies and Elon Musk and Donald Trump. No, I mean, this is insane what they're doing. It's absolutely insane. They're going to fire 20% of the NSA. That story came out today. Elon was over there. Actually, the really sick part, and again, it goes to the lies here. Elon and his people keep going, no, we're just getting rid of the fraud and the waste and everything. Oh, no. Before they even investigated any agency, they told the agencies how much they had to cut. They told them you need to cut staff. How did they know to tell the agencies to cut staff? Because that would cost waste and abuse if they hadn't investigated the waste. Right? I mean, day one, Elon came in and ordered all the agencies to get back to him in like a week or a month or whatever, and to cut huge numbers of staff. But Elon hadn't investigated yet. How did Elon know the staff needed to be cut? They claim it's all fraud, waste, and abuse. How do you know there's 20% fraud and waste at the NSA that Elon just arrived today? At the IRS, where his staff just arrived recently? How do they know 20% is fraud, right? I mean, they don't. They just want to cut people. They just want to decimate our government. It again boggles my freaking mind here. Trump, I don't even want to forget Trump. Trump's immigration thing, whatever. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. One piece of good news today, the White House has withdrawn the name of an anti-vaccine guy that it promoted to be the head of our Centers for Disease Control, which is our Centers for Disease Control. I guess I'm not sure how to even describe the CDC. It deals with diseases. That's their specialty. I mean, like we have a health ministry overall, but the CDC, thank you, Amanda, for the gift. The CDC specifically deals with diseases, researching diseases, approving vaccines, this kind of stuff. And they picked a guy who was anti-vaccine to run our vaccine agency. A guy was anti-vaccine. He actually had to step down because one of the Republican senators actually finally stood up and said no. And Trump had to remove the guy today. Please keep the gifts coming, guys. TikTok, YouTube, Discord. TikTokers especially, make sure you follow me. I put up a couple videos every day usually, and I do this show every night, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time US, so please do follow me. Discords and YouTube. You guys, well, Discordians, you guys are already on board. YouTubers, make sure you guys follow me as well. And the gifts are always welcome. Keep the gifts coming, but definitely follow me on TikTok, please. What else we got here? Oh, RFK. So thank God the anti-vaxxer lost his job at our disease agency. Trump's top health guy, who's also an anti-vaccine guy, he said yesterday something incredible and ridiculous and false. RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's the one who, about a year and a half ago, Robert F. Kennedy, this is a good summary of his positions on everything. But a year and a half ago, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in a podcast interview, there's video and there's audio. It's out there. Google it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. claimed falsely that no vaccine has ever been proven safe and effective. It's total bullshit. He's lying. He's lying. Again, lying or crazy. I don't think he's that crazy. I think he's lying. Thank you for the Paris gift, Marsha. So Kennedy, this is where Kennedy's coming from. Kennedy yesterday said about measles, we're having a measles outbreak in America, where all of these people who refused to get vaccinated have now got measles and they're spreading it around to each other. And we've got a measles outbreak and it's spreading. Kennedy yesterday weighs in on the measles outbreak. Well, let me step back. He weighs in a week ago on the measles outbreak. And rather than suggesting people get vaccinated, which is the obvious thing to do to stop measles, he refuses to tell people to get vaccinated. He refused. He did not. What he did a week ago, he told people that they should use vitamin A and cod liver oil to fight measles, which is insane and false. All the experts jumped in and went, "Are you crazy? Cod liver oil is not how you fight measles. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy." I mean, insane. We have a vaccine that has been around, God, since I was a kid. How long's the measles vaccine been around? Alexa, when was the measles vaccine created? 1963. 1963. 60 years we've had the measles vaccine. We know it's safe and we know it's effective. Kennedy did not suggest the vaccine. He suggested people use cod liver oil. Now, this one I explained the other day, but I think this is really important because it gives you an insight into this guy's wacky head, and not just wacky head, but how they lie and how he lies. The reason Kennedy claimed falsely that people should use cod liver oil to fight measles, again, total bullshit that he said this. He said it, but it's bullshit that it's a total lie. The reason he said it was because, this is great. In Africa, for example, children have vitamin deficiencies, right? Because they don't have enough food and this kind of stuff, or they don't have the right food. Children have vitamin deficiencies. A lot of children in Africa, for example, have vitamin A deficiencies. If you have a vitamin A deficiency, it makes it harder for your body to fight measles. So in Africa, for example, children with vitamin A deficiencies, they give them cod liver oil, which I believe has vitamin A in it. And that helps them get over their vitamin A deficiency so they can fight the disease, right? Cod liver oil does not fight measles. RFK Jr. claimed falsely that cod liver oil fights measles, and he told everybody it literally doesn't. I mean, but you get what I'm telling you now? This is a perfect example of the lies and the craziness that come out of people like RFK Jr. He just totally took it and just lied about it. Well, guess what he did yesterday? Yesterday, this is Trump's top health guy that he appointed. Yesterday, RFK Jr. suggested people get measles. He suggested that's the best way to fight the disease. He claimed falsely that if you get the vaccine, it wears off. The vaccine's terrible. This is a lie, but he said it. A total lie. He claimed the vaccine doesn't work. It works. The vaccine works. It's a great vaccine. It's been around for 60 years. The measles vaccine is a great vaccine. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who works for Trump, claimed the vaccine doesn't give you like immunity very long. In fact, the vaccine usually gives you lifetime immunity. They tell you when you're my age to go get tested again. And I know a lot of people already my age who have been, my doctor, I even asked him a couple of years ago, and my doctor said at your age, most people, they're still protected by the vaccine. It's not even worth getting tested to see if your blood still has the antibodies, right? He lied about that. He claimed the vaccine doesn't work long-term. It's a lie. But what's even crazier that RFK Jr., and this is something people tried with COVID. Listen to this. RFK Jr. said yesterday, and I'm going to walk you through this. I mean, I'm a lawyer, so I really like logic and stuff. I'm going to walk you through this, and even those of you who aren't lawyers, I think are going to get this. RFK Jr. said the best, and by the way, the COVID crazy people said this too, the anti-vax people. RFK Jr. said yesterday, falsely, that the best way to not get measles isn't to get the vaccine. It's to get measles. Because if you get measles, he claimed, falsely, you will have a much better immunity against measles. Let me walk you through that again. RFK Jr. claimed, again, this is false, but he claimed it. I mean, what he claimed was false. He did claim it. That the best way not to get measles is to get measles. You should try to get measles, he claimed, so that you then get over measles and are immune to measles. But if you have to get measles to get immune to measles, then you get measles, right? If the whole point is not to get measles, why would you go and get measles? Do you get what I'm saying here? And the problem is measles, very dangerous. Measles, very deadly disease, measles. I had retweeted this on Twitter earlier. The number of hospitalizations are horrible, but also the number of dead from measles. But do you get the point here? Like either measles aren't a problem, and then why are you worrying about getting them to become immune? But measles are a problem, in fact. Or measles really are deadly and measles really are dangerous. But if measles are deadly and dangerous, why would you try to get them in order to be immune to them? Because, I mean, the thing is, he keeps talking about this. And I feel like I'm the only person who gets this. I mean, you guys get this, right? I mean, you get this. Like there's no reason. If you don't want to get a disease, the last thing you should do is get the disease in order to become immune to the disease, because then you got the disease. That's just insane, right? It's insane. I know, as Two Sheeps just said, I'm trying to find logic where there is none. But guys, they were saying the same crazy stuff about COVID. they were claiming the best way to avoid COVID was to get COVID and to be immune. And I kept going, the best way to avoid COVID is not to get COVID, because then you didn't avoid it, right? If measles is so bad, you should not be telling people to get it intentionally if it's bad, because then they've got it and then all the bad stuff happens. I mean, but this guy is our top health official, guys. He's our top health official, and he promoted this kind of crazy stuff. It is incredibly dangerous. It is incredibly dangerous. You know, these guys are anti-vax. They're crazy. They're crazy. It's incredibly dangerous. It boggles my mind. Absolutely boggles my mind. Okay, I'm going to bite my tongue and just mute you. There we go. I'm muting myself on one of the crazier people. But this is what we're dealing with. I mean, it still boggles my mind. Like, a disease is really bad, so you're telling people to get the bad, dangerous disease so that they develop an immunity to the bad, dangerous disease, except then they've got the bad, dangerous disease and it can risk killing them. So why would you do that when you've got a vaccine? That's total. Again, it's stupid anyway, but also there's a vaccine. It's safe. It's been around for 60 years. He's our top health guy. And again, final point here. He never told people to get the vaccine. He's refusing to tell people to get the vaccine. And he also, by the way, he claimed about a month ago when he got the job, he claimed the measles vaccine has never been tested for safety or efficacy. He lied. He lied. The measles vaccine has been tested for safety and efficacy. It works and it's safe. We know that. It was tested a long time ago. All our vaccines are tested. RFK Jr., the top health guy, lied and claimed that the measles vaccine had never been tested. I mean, he's crazy. This stuff is crazy. This anti-vaccine stuff is crazy and wrong. It blows my freaking mind. Absolutely blows my mind. All right. A new CNN poll, about half of the public, 51%, say they think Trump's policies have worsened the economy. Only 28% think they've improved things. I mean, that's good because they have. A really big problem, however, is some new data came out today. I don't have the chart in front of me. New data came out today that consumer spending just dropped off a cliff. Consumer spending was doing okay. This last month, it plummeted. People are no longer spending money. Why aren't they spending money? Because they're terrified about the economy because of what Trump's doing with tariffs and everything else. And they're terrified we're going to have a recession. Trump himself suggested this weekend, last weekend, actually, he suggested twice that there's going to probably be a recession because of his own policies. So people are now not spending money. Why does that matter? It's a huge problem. 2/3 of the economy, 2/3 of the American economy comes from consumer spending. Okay. This is a crazy number. 2/3 of the economic activity in our country comes from you and me spending money. So when you and I start spending less money, it can crash the economy. It is consumer spending dropping is like the primary indicator for problems coming with the economy. As I said, it's a crazy number. Google it because it really it surprised me when I learned this decades ago. I was like 60%, like 2/3 of the US economy is consumer spending. I mean, so now the consumer spending plummeted because people are terrified of what Trump is doing and they're terrified of the economy going bad. They're terrified of losing their jobs, right? So they're saving their money just in case. But when people save money just in case, the economy collapses and you get a recession. Very scary stuff. Now I'm going to walk you through, as I told you guys, there's a lot of Trump news today. I'm going to do the Ukraine news in a second. It's important, but it's a small amount. It's a small amount of news, important news, but small. We'll get to it in a second. The New York Times did a wonderful investigation of DOGE, Elon Musk's organization, and basically how they either lied or screwed up. All the claims of the money they saved. I'm going to read you this from the Times. Listen to this. And thank you for the gifts, guys. Keep them coming on TikTok, please. YouTube and Discord, too. Consider subscribing. We do our weekend show on Saturday for the monthly subscribers on all the sites. You can also donate gift subscriptions that other people can get. It's pretty easy on either site. Just figure it out. So listen to this from New York Times. There were mistakes right away. This is Elon Musk's DOGE website bragging about all the money they've cut. There were mistakes right away. One contract listed as saving $8 billion with a B was actually worth $8 million. Another was inflated and triple counted. They counted it 3 times. On February 25th, DOGE added hundreds of new contracts, one with a claimed savings of $1.9 billion. It was actually canceled last year under President Biden's administration. A week later, more contracts were added to the DOGE website, but hundreds were also removed, including the erroneous $1.9 billion. Then a few days later, nearly all of those deleted contracts reappeared, even the $1.9 billion. By the way, this $1.9 billion is the one that was canceled under Biden. First, they claimed credit. Then they realized their mistake and took it off. Then they put it back anyway. So Elon is still claiming credit for the $1.9 billion that Biden killed a year ago. That's what I mean. This is the fraud, waste, and abuse that Elon claims he found. Okay. Amid the latest changes on March 12th, the values on 123 contracts were altered, primarily to claim larger savings. So they took 123 contracts and suddenly claimed more money that they saved. They claimed. New York Times says, here we've simply shown the savings on individual contracts as DOGE claims them. But in many cases, the money the government has realistically saved by ending those contracts is smaller. Our illustration also leaves out another oddity of the DOGE wall. Listen to this one. As of March 13th, more than 2,200 contracts listed. Okay. As of today, more than 2,200 of the contracts that DOGE and Elon Musk list on their website that they've saved, 40% of the total. Okay. Elon Musk's website that gives all the cost savings they've done, 40% of the contracts they list as having killed and saved money on show a value of $0 saved. No money saved at all. 40% of the contracts they killed, they didn't save any money. What that means, by the way, this is really bad. That means we're going to pay for the contracts anyway. Where's my shoe? And this was something I warned you about, and others have warned folks about. We are still a nation of laws. We're trying, but we're still a nation of laws. You can't just go and kill a contract because you're Elon Musk and you go, I don't like this contract. Right? He's killing contracts that he's not allowed to kill. All the AID contracts, he can't kill those contracts. We've got contracts with a bunch of organizations around the world, with a bunch of nonprofits and things like that, NGOs. They're going to sue and they're going to get their money because you can't just, he terminated a bunch of leases. Anybody who's rented an apartment knows this. You can't just say, I'm not going to pay anymore, management company, so I'm not going to pay for my rented apartment. You can have it back. You can't do that. Right? You can only do it based on the contract itself. So 40%, what's probably going on here is tons of the contracts Elon has broken. We are no longer getting the benefit of the contract, but we're going to have to pay them anyway. So we're not only not saving money, but we're going to have to actually pay the money and we're not getting the contracted good or the contracted service. Right? All the federal employees, they got sent back to work today by the judge. They're going to have to get back pay. We are going to pay those federal employees for not working for the last month because Elon fired them. They're not working, but we're going to have to pay them for not working. I mean, like, this is why facts matter. Thank you, Super Hornet. This is why it matters that Elon is called out for lying. Because he's actually wasting our money. He's wasting American government money. He's wasting American taxpayer money because he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's just willy-nilly. It's again, I keep saying mind-boggling, but it really is mind-boggling, the stuff he's doing. Final point about Elon. This is a final story on Elon, and then we'll talk about Ukraine. Thank you, Randy Fred, for the gift. Politico reports that Elon has a really big office in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. It's the big building next to the White House. It's where the vice president has his offices and stuff. It's a very pretty old French style building next to the White House. And Elon has his office, that really huge office. Elon had them install, and I want to know, frankly, was this government money? Elon, who works very hard, right? He talks about all those federal employees who he doesn't think work. Elon had them install a giant television in his office next to the White House so he could play video games on his TV screen. Guys, I like video games. There's my dog. Sorry, Sasha's popping up on the couch again. We have a sighting. Oh, for you guys on TikTok, she's over there. We have a sighting. I think the only thing is I think she hears the neighbor's dog in the hall, which means she's about to scream. Thank you for that. Elon Musk, in his office, his federal office next to the White House, installed a giant television. We don't know who paid for it. I hope it wasn't me and you, the taxpayers, but he installed a giant television so he can play computer games in the office when he should be working. Think about that. I mean, think about like in your job. If you said, I want you to pay for a big TV, first of all, and they say, oh, okay, a little weird, but why do you want it? Because I want to play games all day. I want to play computer games at the office. Think that's a problem? Oh, that's cute. I've never seen that before. That's cute, the bird. Thank you, Adventures. That's really cute. I mean, now granted, Laddie just had a good comment on TikTok. Probably better that way, which is actually true. If we can get Elon distracted that he's playing video games all day, that might be a better thing for America and the world. Fair enough. Thank you, Joshua, for the gift. That's actually very true. But she's still whining at me to get me to play. I'm not playing with you. No. Oh my God, she's terrible. She's like Kukla. This is like my mom's dog. The dog is still sitting on the couch, kind of popping her head up, trying to get me to, I think is her head still up? Oh, her head's still up. Yeah, over here. You guys, I think TikTok, you can just see. Yeah, her head's like my little white dog with the dark eyes being goofy. Oh, thank you for the hat there, Amanda. Thank you, Just. Any case, so that is the Elon news and the Trump news. I'm going to move over to Ukraine in a second. Any questions or anything on the Elon and Trump stuff or comments or whatever? She's a Yorkie Bichon, close to a Maltese. She's a trip. Oh, thank you for the panda, Janice. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a smart TV and China can listen. Actually, that's probably true too. I'm sure. Sasha, come on. I'm working here. What do you want from me? I don't even know what you want from me. I do know what you want. I know what she wants. She thinks after dinner, I brush her teeth and she likes the toothpaste, but she really likes, you're fine. She really likes the fact that she gets a treat afterwards. So she has my eyes. Yeah, exactly. Is Elon the head of DOGE? Isn't that a funny question? Trump has tried to claim no for legal reasons. And then during the State of the Union, he admitted it. So thank you, Jill, for the feather mask. Thank you, Big Hawk. And Rose and Marsha for the gifts as well. All right. Let's move over to do Ukraine a little bit, and then we'll come back and do all of this stuff. All right. Okay. Just looking to see if there are any comments or anything. Okay. Let's do a little bit of Ukraine and then we'll finish up. It is day 1112 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation. Trump's envoy to Putin is landing in Moscow today. He's going to be meeting with Putin. As you know, I hate to sort of say this. Trump and Zelensky reached a deal on a, hey, enough, quiet. Oh my God. Now, after a while, she drives me crazy because I don't know if you can hear it, but it's literally nonstop whining for the last 5 minutes no, stop. That's right. You sound disappointed. Oh my God. I have the most chatty dog on the planet. And then because I yelled at her, she went, it was like disappointed whine. Oh my God, you drive me bonkers. Trump's envoy is there, as you know, and now she's going to want water. So the water thing I'll give her if she wants the water. We'll see. But Trump's envoy went there. Trump reached a ceasefire deal with Zelensky, but he didn't really. But Trump claimed he did a couple days ago. What actually happened was the Ukrainians agreed a week ago to a ceasefire, and they proposed it themselves. And Trump then turned around and cut off all aid and then pretended 2 days ago like he got Zelensky to agree to a ceasefire when Zelensky proposed it a week ago, but whatever, right? Trump is Trump. If it makes him happy, what the hell? We'll pretend like Trump actually did something here, okay? So they have the ceasefire. They present it to Moscow. And the weird thing is it depends who you talk to today, how it went over in Moscow. Putin basically said something like, oh, interesting idea or promising idea, but I've got a lot of concerns, and then listed all sorts of crazy stuff. The New York Times claimed, oh, Putin open to ceasefire. The Wall Street Journal wrote, Putin rejects ceasefire. So it's very confused right now, kind of where all of this is, as far as, thank you, Big Hawk, where all this is in terms of what Putin's saying. Let me just find this. As I said, he threw in, for example, Putin said today, who monitors the ceasefire? How will we know when it's being violated? What happens if it is violated? Does it lead on to talks for peace? What does that look like? Who's in the room? This is Putin trying to kill the ceasefire. This is Putin trying to, but not to kill it directly, because then Trump will get mad. Ha 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 ha. Like Trump will get mad at Putin, but whatever. So he's not trying to kill it directly. He's trying to kill it indirectly, going, oh, great idea, but I have 1,000 questions. And when you answer my 1,000 questions, then of course we can do your ceasefire once you answer my 1,000 questions. So it's him trying to kill it. Trump today said that Ukrainian land is in play and Ukraine's nuclear plant. I guess, what bothers me again with this is, why do we keep admitting stuff to the Russians? We know Ukraine's land is in play, meaning there's got to be a negotiation over the land. Ukraine is going to probably lose. Actually, Ukraine's probably going to lose all the land the Russians have taken, because Trump's not going to want any of it back. But you don't freaking admit that publicly. I can tell you whatever, but I'm not the president of the United States. I'm not part of the negotiations. As part of the negotiations, you don't just say, yeah, Ukraine's losing a bunch of land. Why would you say that? It's literally giving the Russians a concession, but this is what they do. Little more. The Sky News had a nice little quote from their U.S. correspondent. The fear across Europe over Donald Trump being so keen is that Donald Trump is so keen to be the peacemaker that he's willing to do it at all costs, meaning Trump will do anything to get a peace deal. And that's what's so dangerous about Vladimir Putin now putting all these crazy conditions. And frankly, Putin already put conditions, because it's not clear there's any condition that will make Trump say no. And that's going to be bad. Why give up land? Because they don't have a choice, Best Space Panda. That's the point. Give up land. It depends how we define give up land. Ukraine says, I'm not going to officially give up land. The Russians occupy 20% of Ukraine. Now, I could see the Ukrainians saying, and they're right, saying, there is no way in hell we're going to put on paper that land belongs to Russia. That's crazy, right? Ukraine should not do that. But the problem is that's what the Russians are going to demand. And Trump's going to go, well, you lost it anyway. It's going to be a freaking mess. It's going to be an absolute freaking mess. Poland's president this was kind of funny, because it's not going to. Okay, really? I don't think so. Get in here. The dog wants to go out on the balcony and comes back with this in her mouth, of course, a huge stick, because this is what my dog does. She eats sticks. She's standing at the door with the stick in her mouth. And I'm like, that's why I was like, sure, I'm going to let you in the house with a stick so you can eat it and get sick. In any case, enough of my dog. Poland's president has called on the U.S. to transfer nuclear weapons to Polish territory. That's not happening. Joe Biden refused to do it. It sure as hell isn't happening. It's the best stick. It's the best stick. Exactly. Joe Biden refused to do it. Donald Trump is never doing it. Trump reiterated his plans today to annex Greenland. That was nice. And anyway, that's all I got for the news. So yeah, crazy stuff. That was a long news, but there was a lot of American news at the beginning, but it was important news. So anyway, all right. I'm going to sit back as always. This is the part of the show that we hang out. We talk about whatever you want. Let me adjust my camera down. There we go. There we go. Comfy. All right. All right. I did not hear any news about it. Jen is asking about news about the meeting between Doug Ford, who's one of the Canadian provincial leaders, and our U.S., I'm assuming it was the Treasury Secretary. I don't quite recall. Or was it Commerce? And they were going to meet today. They sort of called off some of the sanctions back and forth, but they were going to meet today, but I didn't see any report on it. So I don't know. Panama Canal, we're still planning on invading and taking it, apparently. I have not seen any news on it, but that's what I heard. That's what Trump keeps saying. So Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare, Elon has said he wants to cut them. Trump has claimed he won't. The problem is Trump's a liar, so I don't care what Trump says. they're going to do all sorts of stuff. They're going to claim, for example, first of all, they just killed the phone lines. They just killed the phone lines that seniors use to call in. Social Security is our retirement pension program for every American when you retire, and you pay into it with your own paycheck. And they just killed the phone number that you could call in. They claimed, oh, too much fraud happens via the phone number. The problem is, who do you think is worst in America when it comes to using computers to get information and the internet? Seniors. Seniors liked the phone line because it was very confusing for them to go online and get answers. They're now requiring seniors to go online and get all their answers. They can no longer call the phone number and get help with Social Security. That's the first thing. Second thing that worries me is they say they're not going to cut Social Security. Are they going to change the age you can retire at? That's not cutting Social Security. I think they're gonna. They've done it before. I think they probably will. So there's all sorts of stuff like that that's being talked about, and that's the sort of concern. So very, very very all over the place. What else? Oh, Doug Ford. Okay, Doug, the Canadians said it was very. I'm yawning at you. I even had my coffee this time. The Canadians said it was very positive. The meeting with the Americans. That's good. That's good. I know 80 is the new age. No, they're going to try to up it. The thing is, I'm going to guess they're going to play some games where they usually do. They usually do it like people who haven't turned 60 yet will get an additional 3-month wait, or every year you get like 60-year-olds get a 3-month wait that they have to wait before they can retire. In other words, if you could have retired at 65 or 67 or 70, now it's 70 in 3 months. 59-year-olds have a 6-month wait. 58-year-olds have a year wait, right? They're going to start playing this game so that people who are 10 years away kind of go, well, they're going to do it. Just wait. Just you wait. Yeah, well, France tends to protest more than we do. Oh, excuse me. We don't protest enough. Gunther's being an angry old man. Seniors need to learn how to use the internet. Yeah, but the problem too is that when you get older, you just don't think as fast. It's harder to do research. First of all, a lot of people, I'm good at research online, but I do online stuff for a living. A lot of people are not good at doing research online. They're just not. Now, AI may help in that regard, right? ChatGPT and all this kind of stuff. That may help in terms of answering. I already answered some tax questions using ChatGPT, which blew my mind. So maybe AI will be able to help seniors in the end, right? To be able to answer questions more. But I'm sympathetic to the notion that for older people, it's not intrinsically obvious how to ask questions online and get answers. The other problem is you just slow down as you get older. If you're 80 years old or 85 years old and you've got questions and there's no one for you to ask, searching the internet doesn't always give you the answers. You may want to pick up the phone and call somebody, So yeah, I'm sympathetic actually. Marty asks a super chat question. What do you think of a French nuclear submarine surfacing in Halifax, Canada? You guys mentioned that the other day, staying for a couple of months. Oh, that's interesting. Well, okay. You guys had mentioned this the other day. I was hoping that this was a situation. I was hoping it's a situation of the Canadians, of the French showing support for the Canadians against Trump. Now it's sounding like maybe it is. I guess it depends. It depends when it was scheduled. I'd be curious to find out that it wasn't scheduled a year ago or something. But that's very interesting. Now, mind you, a nuclear submarine, it's not like a French nuclear submarine is going to be attacking the U.S. anytime soon. Staying till the 21st of March, Beowulf says. Subs do that occasionally, but it's possible. It is possible it was planned as a show of support. It is possible. It's also possible it was just a regularly scheduled, military exercise or whatever, Hard to know, Marty. Thank you for that, but it's hard to know. Why not? I like it, But anyway, but yes, anybody who's helped the elderly know it's not easy. But yes, ChatGPT, I got to tell you, ChatGPT, but as I've also said too, I hate to admit it, but Elon's little AI on Twitter is actually pretty good. I totally hate to admit it. But those things can be very helpful for questions about things that you can't. And I don't mean questions like who's the president of so-and-so. I mean, like, how do I go about doing blah, blah? They can be really surprisingly helpful. Yeah, just for fun, I tried DeepSeek because you guys were all telling me to. I didn't use it for stuff that I would worry about them knowing, and it wasn't very good. It was okay, but it wasn't very good. Yeah, Grok. Grok is shockingly good. I hate to admit it. ChatGPT has its own. I'm kind of working with the ChatGPT folks because it's ChatGPT. I was working on a family history with it, trying to get a family history document together, and it kept deleting stuff. It was literally like 2001 Space Odyssey. It was like dealing with Dave. I'm like, insert this paragraph. Okay. Inserts the paragraph and then deleted 5 others. And I go, you just deleted 5 paragraphs. No, I didn't. And literally, I was like, okay, Dave, you didn't delete 5 paragraphs. I'm looking at them. Put back this paragraph. Oh, Hal. I'm sorry. I'm Dave. You're right. Dave was the guy. Hal. Okay, Hal. Right. It's sorry, Dave. I didn't delete the paragraphs. Exactly. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. John won't read it. What one I read, Arctic. But it's very interesting. We should boycott all things Elon, but sometimes you need an answer from an AI, and what do you do? But it was very good. I was a little shocked. The sub is in Canada for cold weather testing. Interesting. But yeah, no, really kind of freaked me out though. Thank you, Drew. The ChatGPT just kept deleting paragraphs of mine and kept denying it was deleting paragraphs. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, do not delete anything. Okay, add this paragraph. Add the paragraph, deleted 3 more paragraphs. So what do you do? Anyway, what else, guys? Questions, comments? This is our hangout time now. In Sweden, you're boycotting everything U.S. You should. You absolutely should. Gavin Newsom is up to something. I'm not quite sure what it is. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, Democrat, very liberal, but he's trying to reposition himself in the middle, and it's very interesting. He kind of he disagreed on like was it the transport stuff or what was it that he disagreed on recently that was interesting? He then did an interview with Steve Bannon, who's a big Trump guy, and Bannon talked about how Bannon claimed falsely that Trump won the election in the year 2020, and Newsom didn't push back. I mean, the first thing for Newsom to say would have been, yeah, we all know Trump didn't win. Don't come on. You're a smart guy. Don't spew the lies. But he didn't push back. Newsom, I think Newsom, maybe he can get away with this. Newsom, I think, thinks that he's going to be president by playing to the middle. Even though he's San Francisco liberal, he's going to rewrite himself as being a moderate American or in the middle or something. Maybe he'll get away with it. I don't know. But I have a hard time believing, wasn't he the mayor of San Francisco or something before? I think so, wasn't he? I just think you're going to have a hard time being like a San Francisco liberal and then paint yourself as being like a middle of the road American. I mean, I'm all for San Francisco liberals, but you're not a middle of the road American. You're not, So something's going on, Yeah, I was talking about Gavin Newsom. Was he mayor? I'm trying to remember. I thought he wasn't he, guys? I'm not really a California political guy, but so Pete Buttigieg. This was a fascinating. Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Pete Buttigieg, absolutely fascinating. I am on Substack. I actually have to write an update. You can find my Substack in my profile link. Click it on TikTok. You'll find all the links. He was a mayor. Okay. So Pete Buttigieg, this was rather interesting. Pete is an American politician. I like him a lot. He's possibly the best messenger the Democratic Party has. He's incredibly good, incredibly smart, incredibly sincere. A lot of Republicans like him just because he's nice, he's smart. Like I said, he's sincere. You talk to him and he makes sense. And interestingly, Buttigieg was going to run, we thought, for the U.S. Senate in 2026, a Senate seat in Michigan. He announced today he's not running for Senate in 2026. Everyone is interpreting that as meaning he's going to run for president in 2028. That basically, if he ran for Senate, it would make it, because the year you're running for Senate, 2026 is a presidential year in America. The presidential election isn't until 2028. Unfortunately, in America, presidential campaigns start 2 years before the 2 years before the 2 years before the election. So actually not 2026, 2027 would be. So basically Pete would like win the senator race and immediately have to declare that he's running for president, and people would get pissed off. Let's see. I mean, he's gay, which is its own problem in terms of getting elected to president in this country, but he's very smart. He's very sincere. He's very good. He's the best messenger we've got. And people think this now means he's going to run for president again. Very interesting. Very interesting. I know how to pronounce his name, Catherine, unless you're telling everybody else how to pronounce it, but I know how to pronounce it. He's very good. So we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, what else, guys? Well, I don't know. Gunther says he won't win. I didn't think President Obama would win. I didn't think America would elect a black man, and I was convinced America would never elect a black man twice, and they did. So, especially a black man. In a million years, I would have never thought Americans would be advanced enough to do that, and we were. Twice. So, anything's possible. Again, I also wonder whether they would elect somebody gay. I agree. But I was convinced there's no way they would elect somebody black. And they did. So who knows? You know, I think sometimes we've got to be a little more hopeful. Maybe sometimes oh, you're so leaving us, MD. Oh my God, the trolls are pulling this crap again. The trolls are trying to pretend Obama was white. I love when they do that crap. Yeah, because as a white person in America, sure, white people look at Obama and think he's white. Are you crazy? Nobody looks at Obama and thinks he's white. I mean, that's just so ridiculous. But again, that's a perfect example, though. The racism against Obama is still here today, this many years later, and the man still got elected twice. So I think there can be bigotry in this country and still be a little surprised that, I don't know. Very interesting. Anyway, what else? Well, that's it. I mean, the interesting question is, Gunther says we've gone with 2 women and lost. The problem for the Democratic Party is, not sure how to say this. Democrats are afraid of picking white men to run for office. I was thinking GWK. A friend told me the other day, the Biden administration basically refused to hire gay white men. They didn't consider gay white men to be minorities anymore. And literally it was disfavored to get a job with them if you were a gay white man. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like so this is where Democrats are now. So, who knows what they're going to go for next time. They're going to try to be diverse again, or who the hell knows? I don't know. Having said that, Kamala Harris was the VP. So I kind of get why she was the nominee. You know what I mean? The vice president, and Biden screwed it up anyway, because Biden didn't step down. I mean, Biden should have stepped down a year ago and let Democrats have a primary. He didn't. What do you do? So, anyway. I don't know why. Jillian asks, why is America so far behind lots of female leaders in Europe? This is something we've talked about a long time, and I don't get it. You look at the UK. They had a woman leader in the 1980s, Margaret Thatcher, 1980s, 40 years ago, maybe 45 years ago now. That's insane, right? I mean, how do we not? India, Pakistan too. India and Pakistan had female leaders running the country. Was it Bhutto in Pakistan? Gandhi in India? Decades ago. Canada, she didn't do too well, as I recall, but nonetheless, Zimbabwe, nonetheless, it was good. Angela Merkel in Germany, which again was, when did she get the job? 20 years ago or 15 years ago? Oh God, Israel. That's right. Golda Meir in the 1970s in Israel. Mexico has a woman now. Ireland had Mary Robinson or whatever in the 1990s. I don't know if that was your first. Was Mary Robinson the first woman in Ireland? I don't recall, but I remember back in the 90s you had her. It's, it's really weird. It's very weird. And again, India and Pakistan elected women presidents, and America, and for America, it's too backwards. I mean, not too backwards. We're too backwards to consider it. I mean, really? It's very strange. It's very strange. I mean, I really don't get it though, because I just don't get it. I mean, again, I would have thought India and Pakistan would have had the same macho problem we have about electing a woman as leader, and they clearly did not. Good for them. Bad for us. Very strange. Oh, the ceremonial position, but she was quite loud about it though. Okay. I mean, because I've always heard about her all the time, Mary Robinson. If for a ceremonial position, she did a good loud job with. I mean, she did a good job making it a position with a big mouthpiece. Burma had a female leader. Get out of here. Yeah, but Burma. Well, I mean, Burma. You sure with the generals or what? Before the not the Nobel laureate who's in trouble woman. She wasn't a leader though, was she? Yeah, Thatcher, of course. Iceland, first female president in 1980. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Prime Minister of Ceylon and Sri Lanka was 1960. That's interesting. Oh, that is interesting. Wow. Miss Super Chat. Oh, did Marty have a second one? I looked up. I didn't see it, Marty. No, the French nuclear thing. There isn't a second one. Oh, you had one before, Marty. Sorry, I didn't see the one before. I kept scrolling back. Sorry, Marty had a super chat on YouTube. I kept scrolling back and I'm like, nope, Marty's question is still there. I didn't see you had agreed the one before. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I didn't know what you were talking about. I kept going like, of course I answered it. How can Trump cut costs, layoffs, or add costs like the military at the border without running it through the Senate and Congress? I mean, that's what the lawsuits are about. I don't know. You can't end a federal agency. You also can't fire the staff. You can't. But he's getting away with it. Now, the lawsuits are happening. I mean, today's lawsuit made him reinstate tens of thousands of fired workers. So maybe in the end, the lawsuits will work. I don't know. But the lawsuits take time. I mean, but it's, there is no, I mean, yeah, on its face of it, it seems to be illegal. Yes. Doesn't seem to be stopping him, but it seems to be illegal. Thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, sorry about that. I kept scrolling back going, no, Marty's question is right there. I didn't know there was a previous one. What else? Aung San or whatever. She was a state. But I mean, she was always the opposition person who was jailed. Was she actually a leader at one point? I didn't remember. Okay. But then she had her own little weird issues too. Dems caved. I'm not surprised. Yep. Not surprised. What else? What else? Sweden had a female prime minister. Oh, no, I didn't. I don't think I remember that one. Okay. I met Mona. She wasn't prime minister. She tried though. I was actually helped out on her campaign. She was very nice. What else, guys? I don't know. I mean, people keep raising the Palestinian activist who got arrested in New York. So it's a weird story. Again, I'm not going to know. I don't know all the details, but the story overall is this foreign student in the U.S. helping run the Palestinian protests or whatever at Columbia or whatever just got arrested by Trump and they're deporting him. The problem is, I mean, I have no sympathy for the guy, to be honest, but I do believe in the rule of law. And, America at least used to believe that even if you don't like someone, you still obey the law. And if they're not guilty, you don't put them in jail, right? Trump's arresting the guy and trying to kick him out, kind of claiming he broke the law, but they're not pointing to any laws that he broke. And at least right now, they haven't pointed to anything the guy did illegally from what I've heard. So you can't really kick him out, Again, I've told you this before. I have very little sympathy to foreigners who come to my country and then protest in general, let alone protest the government. I think you're on thin ice as far as I'm concerned. But that's not a legal argument. That is an ethical argument. Don't come to my country as a guest and protest. It's not your right. Ethically, it's not your right, right? But if legally, and I'm again, I really have to Google the court cases on this. If legally you can come to the U.S. and protest as a foreign student, then you can, right? I mean, that's the way it is. Whether I like the guy or not, it doesn't matter, right? It either is or isn't your right to do. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT 1 second here. Do foreign students in America have the same First Amendment rights we do to protest the government? Just kidding. Now, doesn't mean ChatGPT is necessarily correct, but let's see here. Foreign students in the U.S. do have First Amendment rights, including freedom of speech and the right to protest. First Amendment protects all people in the U.S., not just citizens. Some important distinctions. Same free speech protections. Foreign students like U.S. This is from ChatGPT. Foreign students like U.S. citizens have the right to speak, assemble, and protest peacefully. Schools, police, and government agencies cannot discriminate against them based on their political views. Visa and immigration risks. Unlike citizens, foreign students are in the U.S. on a visa, which can be revoked for certain activities. While lawful protest is protected, engaging in illegal activities such as violence, trespassing, or disruption of public order could lead to visa issues, deportation. National security. In rare cases, if a foreign student is involved in activities the government deems as threatening national security, check this out, or supporting foreign organizations on terrorism lists, they could face additional scrutiny or visa consequences. That's the one that gets tough. Schools can impose rules on student conduct, including restrictions on where and how protests occur. However, schools cannot single out foreign students just for protesting. So it sounds like they've got the same rights, but you get into a weird situation with the only problem is that one little paragraph talking about national security, supporting foreign organizations on terrorism lists, Hamas. And then, let me ask, what happens if a foreign student, say a Palestinian, supports a group like Hamas that is on the terrorist list, can they be kicked out of the U.S.? Of course, it wrote it as hummus, which I find very funny. Now, ChatGPT is not 100% dispositive, but I do find it's quite smart. A foreign student in the U.S. can face serious immigration consequences if they support a group like Hamas, which is designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the U.S. government. Under U.S. law, providing any form of material support, including financial assistance, resources, or services to a designated terrorist group is a federal crime. Immigration. The U.S. can revoke the visa of any non-citizen who is found to be supporting or associating with a foreign terrorist group. This applies even if the individual is not directly involved in violent acts. Speech versus illegal support. Expressing general political support for a cause, i.e. advocating for Palestinian rights, is protected under the First Amendment. However, endorsing or advocating for a foreign terrorist organization's violent actions could lead to legal and immigration consequences. See, this is where, let's see what he did and what he said. The Trump people are probably going to try to get him on that, is my guess. They're going to probably try to get him on that. And say, if he made, well, first of all, if the protest was supporting Hamas, then he could be in trouble. He has a green card. I don't know if it matters. I don't know. I don't know whether, let's ask. Let's ask. Again, ChatGPT is not 100% correct all the time, but I find it very good. Let's ask. What if the foreign student who was supporting Hamas has a green card, does that change how difficult it is for the U.S. to kick him out? Let's see. Yes, if a foreign student with a green card is found to be supporting Hamas, the U.S. government can still revoke their green card and deport them. Same thing. Material support of terrorism. Now, again, ChatGPT may be right, may be wrong, but it basically summarizes the story. So that's the problem. That's the problem. You know, it's exactly, if he's supporting a group, for example, and I'm saying this as a lawyer now, I don't know the details of his case, but as a lawyer, I'd want to know, okay, what did he say? What has he said? during the protest, before the protest, after the protest? Okay. Did he actually support Hamas? Did he support Hamas's actions against Israel? Now you're arguably supporting a terrorist act by a foreign terrorist group, right? Did he support other groups that are supporting Hamas, right? So you get into it gets into a very complicated legal analysis because he's not an American citizen. So that's the thing. But I'd have to see. Dave, I couldn't care less if I've lost your support. I literally gave you a legal analysis of how U.S. law works. If you can't handle a legal analysis of what the legal questions are, you've come to the wrong broadcast. I mean, quite literally, I'm analyzing the law and what questions you have to ask. Seriously, if folks can't handle that, I guess you could go to a Trump podcast or something, but we're literally just going through what the legal questions are. Those would be the legal questions. And but let's see what the Trump people do. If the Trump people try to say he broke the law generally by protesting, so far they haven't alleged that, but they're going to try to claim its support for a foreign terrorist group. That's what's going to be interesting. So we'll see. We shall see. So very interesting. Ooh la la. But again, I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who are here as foreign students. You shouldn't be protesting our government. I just think you're a guest in my country. But legally, if you're allowed to, then you're allowed to. I can judge you, but I'm not going to kick you out because I'm not going to kick you out unless legally I can kick you out. And that's where I differ with the Trump people. I don't think they care enough about the law. I do, you know? In any case, that's the legal analysis. You got to look and see what he actually did and what he said. But they're going to try. Again, he's at the bottom of my list of people I care about right now. I'll say that. Dave will be pissed, but I don't care. You know, I've got to worry about not Palestinians. I've got to worry about Ukrainians and my own democracy going to hell. But I don't want the Trump people breaking the law. No. But exactly, I want to know, as Kelly said, I want to know exactly what he said and did. Exactly. We shall see. Married to a U.S. citizen doesn't protect you. If you're not a U.S. citizen, honestly, foreigners shouldn't be coming here and protesting. They really shouldn't. I mean, some of you don't like that. It's too bad. You know, you're a guest in the country. But again, doesn't mean we kick you out, because if it's not illegal, it's not illegal. I just think it's tacky. Put it that way. You know? So anyway. Yeah, I've already said that, Gunther. I know. Whatever. Move on. I don't care. Move on. Enough of this. This is why we can't touch. By the way, this is why I don't discuss these topics with you guys. And I'm once again going to probably put another boycott on talking about these topics, because whenever we talk about it, people become obnoxious and go crazy. So once again, we're not going to talk about these subjects for months now. Congratulations. So anybody who cares about these topics, this is what you do when you go crazy, there is no way to discuss these issues without people on the left, especially, going crazy. And it's obnoxious and it pisses me off, because whenever you talk about the Middle East, for the last 25 years, I found you cannot talk about the Middle East. People on the right are their own craziness, but people on the far left go nuts. You can't, if you don't agree with them 100%, they go crazy. And I don't talk about these topics as a result. And what do you know? Somebody brought it up. I thought we'd talk about it, and people are going crazy again. That's fine. We're not going to talk about it again. And if that's what you guys want, if you want key influencers not to talk about the Middle East, and by the way, guess who that helps? It helps Israel. Okay with me, but exactly. Cherry pie versus strawberry. There you go, Bill. Thank you. Exactly. No, it's an obnoxious thing people do. And they're like, okay, you want to beat people up? Oh, well, then your issue is not getting discussed in the future. No, I think people are rude. And it's just something people on the left, especially people on the right, have their own problems. But there's a lot of people on the left who are just rude. And they just like to jump down people's throats. Honestly, I had the Canadians doing it to me the other day on TikTok. It was incredibly rude. It was my TikTok post attacking like Elon and Trump over the Canada stuff. Trump specifically. And all the Canadians were being jerks to me. And I'm like, I'm literally doing a video defending you people. It's just, there's a jerkiness. And honestly, it's something I think like especially seeing it from Canadians was worrisome because it means it's not just in the US. You know, there's just a nastiness, I think, that a coarseness in the culture that's come about over the years. The Trump thing isn't helping, but people are just kind of nasty and they jump to conclusions and they're rude. And I just don't like it. I think it's really obnoxious, you know? Anyway, yeah, James is asking about the judge's ruling to put the federal workers back to work. Obviously, it's good. It is not a final decision in two ways. One, it's a preliminary injunction or whatever. So the judge basically told the Trump people, put them back to work, but I haven't reached my final decision. It means his final decision will most likely agree with that. Fair enough, with putting the federal workers back to work that Trump fired. But it's still going to be appealed to the appellate court. It's still going to be appealed to the Supreme Court. Will they win? I don't know. So having said that, so I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't count my chickens yet, right? That I wouldn't just say, yay, we won, because maybe we didn't. But potentially this is a situation where we can, where Trump doesn't win. And if he doesn't win when it goes to the appeals courts, then this would be great. But hey, I'd rather win in court than lose in court on any of these Trump issues. So the fact that the judge is siding with the federal employees and ordering Trump to put them back to work is great. And Ash, you know, sometimes I just have to do it. You know, oh man. Yeah, no, exactly, Arctic, but I'm clearly not, you know. I'm the last person to be taking the Canada thing lightly. I'm incensed over it. And my videos made it clear and people were being dicks to me. And I was like, come on, you know? I mean, I'm literally the guy defending you against these crazies and you're being rude. It's just, and again, it's what people do here too. It's just, there's something obnoxious about it. Anyway, but it's good. Yeah, winning in court is still good. Better than losing. Better than losing. We talked about the Russian stuff. What exactly, Rachel? I mean, basically, you know, with regards to the Ukrainian peace agreement, whatever, Putin's playing games. Putin's playing games. He's saying, well, interesting ceasefire idea. I've got 1,000 questions first. And then the 1,000 questions get asked and he's got 1,000 more. And then he's going to start making demands to even have a ceasefire. Right. And who knows? Trump may just go along with it because Trump being Trump, you know, but, you know, yeah, I haven't seen Trump. Has Trump talked about stealing Gaza lately? I haven't seen that one come up. He kind of stopped discussing that one recently, it seemed. He talked about Greenland again today. I think we're going to take it. It was like, sure, Donald. Okay, whatever, you know, but I haven't seen him talk once again, his crazy idea to take over Gaza. But you know, that's okay, Rachel. Glad you asked. The markets are down very badly. Again, the markets were down. What did I say? The NASDAQ was down 2% today. The Dow Jones might've been down 1.3 or something like that. But yeah, the markets are freaking out about Trump because Trump threatened more tariffs against Europe again today. And the markets keep going down. This is not good stuff, you know? Yeah, exactly. He's moved on to Canada. Exactly. Trump is now no longer interested in Gaza or the Panama Canal. Wait, did he mention the Panama Canal today? I didn't see that. Did he mention that today though? Greenland he mentioned. I saw that. Yes, I saw Greenland just had an election and they elected somebody who's or the party that's more pro-independence or whatever. I don't know what that means in terms of Trump. You know what I mean? Whether just because you're pro-independence doesn't mean you're pro becoming American, right? But you know, so he did mention the Panama Canal today. I'm not surprised. So yeah, he's talking about a 200% tariff on wine and champagne, any liquor coming from Europe. And the Europeans just going to turn around and go, okay, we'll do yours too. Honestly, you know, Neera Tanden said the other day, and she's right. The Europeans ought to put a 200% tariff on Teslas. Just ban them. Just ban Tesla from coming into the US or from coming into Europe. That'll get their attention. Now, Trump will freak out, but that'll get his damn attention. You know, was it Hoover who crashed the stock market? I mean, I don't know if he crashed it, Did he crash? I mean, do people say he crashed it? But I don't remember. Hoover, at that point, was Hoover already president or was it still Wilson? I don't remember. Was Hoover already president at that point? But Hoover was president when the market crashed. That's my question. It was Hoover. Okay. Who was in between? Well, I was good because Wilson was like 10 years before, probably, right? Who was in between? Probably somebody like no one's ever heard. Well, not no one. It wasn't that long ago. Coolidge. Okay. Coolidge. Okay. Wilson put on the tariffs. Hoover crashed the market. Okay. It's been an hour and a half already. Wow, that was long. What else? We're not going to go too much longer. I usually go about an hour and a half, and then we call it quits. So as not to stress my voice, TikTokers, do follow me before you go. Actually, TikTokers, one thing to keep in mind. I was reading about this today. The Trump extension of the ban thing goes until early April. So we've got like 3 more weeks, and then we're playing this game again with the TikTok ban. So just he may extend it, we hope, but that's its own thing. You know what I mean? So just keep an eye on that. Make sure you follow your favorite creators on YouTube and everywhere else just to be safe. Thank you, Melanie. You can find all of my information in my profile on TikTok. Click the Linktree link and you'll find all of my social media contacts and everything else. Every night I do this with you guys, my nose gets all clogged. I'm getting my allergy shots on Monday, though. It may be my allergy shots. What else, guys? Anything else or not? Philippine. I don't know anything about the Philippine president. What's up with that, Bush? The old Philippines president? I know nothing about that, though. I don't know about that. Insider sources on Arctic News. Thank you, Wandering. Very nice gift. Very nice gift, actually. Thank you. Very generous of you. Thank you. He's arrested by the ICC. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Jocelyn. Oh, Duterte. I remember that name. Yeah. I don't really know much about Philippine politics, but I remember that last name. Yeah. Hey, Hassan. Good to see you on TikTok. Hauled to The Hague. How did they get him, though? How did they actually get him? Oh, he's the guy who killed the criminals. Yeah, there was a Philippines leader who basically wasn't he like just picking people up and killing them and claiming they were criminals and stuff? And like, it was like tough on crime, but it was tough on crime by actually like just murdering people. He's that guy. Oh, how did they get him though? How did they actually get possession of him? I mean, I can Google it, but since we're all here talking about it, if anybody knows, that'd be very interesting. Another Marcos is running the country. Oh God. But I am kind of curious as to how it flew back from Hong Kong. Wow. Oh, that's good. It's not easy to always arrest these guys. Interesting. Okay. He surrendered. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Good. I know. They have fewer shoes. Exactly. Imelda with her shoes. Oh my God. Imelda freaking Marcos. They were a pair. Man. Oh my God. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got me for I did. Actually, Ash, that person should be banned. They're some kind of weird scammer. I mean, yeah, exactly. Block them too. Exactly. 3,000. Was it 3,000 pairs of shoes? I didn't remember. I remember the pictures looking at her shoe closet. I didn't remember 3,000 though. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. I remember Duterte. Yep. Was it Duterte or Duerte? Somebody else wrote Duerte. Was it Duterte? Was it 2 T's? Maybe it was. I don't remember. I thought it was 1. The red heels. I don't remember which shoes in particular. When I think of red shoes, I think of the Pope. 2 T's. Okay, thanks, Dave. Barbara saying 1. Now people are disagreeing as you always do. So 1 or 2. I thought it was 1. Somebody get the official answer. Emil says Rodrigo Duterte. So it was 2 T's according to Rodrigo. Rodrigo's sounding pretty convinced here. All right. Oh, not Rodrigo. Emil was saying that. Rodrigo. Where was I getting? Oh, Emil. I'm reading Rodrigo in the name. Well, obviously it's a Spanish name. Yes. 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 All right. Anyway, so Saturday morning, guys, we're doing our show for the paid subscribers. Join us Saturday morning. And other than that, I think we're set for the night. We've been doing this for an hour and then some. That's an interesting question. So Arctic Legacy's been talking a little bit on YouTube. They've been discussing this, the issue of Canada opening up the Arctic more for drilling for, I guess, oil or other stuff. And I'm guessing from what you wrote, the concern is if they find oil, it makes Trump and people all the more interested in taking over. I don't think you can think, honestly, you people need to have a poison pill. You need to talk to the Europeans and make sure they're going to defend you. And honestly, if I were Canada, I'd be very tempted to put European troops on the border and tell Trump to go F himself. I don't think you should not be looking for oil out of fear that Donald Trump is going to invade. They should just drill the damn oil. No, I would not. If it's worrying about the U.S., no. Because that's never going to, he's never going to go away. You can't put your own national development behind because we've got a crazy man running our government. In the end, I think he decides to invade Canada and it's going to be a mess. And I think you guys need to get everybody on board now, like the European governments and everybody else. That kind of makes clear that you're going to literally be at war with NATO and everybody else if that happens. So, I don't know if it's World War III, but it'll be World War II.5 because the Chinese and the Russians won't be involved. It'll be us fighting against our allies in NATO. So it's not quite World War III. I don't know what the hell it is, But if I were the Canadians, I would try to avoid it. But I would also kind of, yeah. No, that's insane. Absolutely insane. Anyway. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. World War stupid. Michelle says that was good. Yeah, it's more that. It still kind of is World War II.5 though. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. Saturday morning, 6 a.m., not 6 a.m. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. We've got the show for the subscribers. So see you guys then. Otherwise, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern US. That's the 6 o'clock I was thinking of. I'll be back tomorrow night and then back on Monday as well. Latest news from Ukraine, latest news from Trump land. All right, dog, I'm getting your water. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Discord, Jeffrey and Manda. I don't think anybody else is there. Nope. All right. I'll get you guys first. Oops. Hang on. Yep. It always takes me a second to get this. Here we go. There we go. All right. Discord is done. I'm coming, dog. You too. See you guys. I'm calling my dog, not as dog.